Jim was facing the mirror looking at himself, but he could see that he was not alone in the reflection. He could see them, who were wearing the same face as him, but each of them had different expressions: sadness, Jimin; anger, Jay; surprise, Jimmy; and contempt, Changman. Jim, what did you do to Jimin? Jimin asked softly since he was the oldest among them. He always tried to solve any matters by discussing instead just blaming one another. Jim, why Jimin is unable to control himself? Jimmy asked worried. We all know he's much more stronger than we are, but what happened to him? What did you do, Jim? Then Jay smirked. Strong? Do you think he is that strong? He asked, looking at Jimmy with his arrogant look. Jim, this system is only works if we all respect each other and give air time to voice our thoughts and feelings. We shouldn't give Jimin a hard time. I have never argued with you, but I'm afraid. Afraid I will fight with you if you do something stupid until make Jimin disappear like this. Jimin said, voice out his concern. Kia. Jim finally opened his mouth. Jimin might already remember about Kia. If you want to blame someone, then blame Changmin, he said to Jimin, and the other elders turned their head looking at Changmin, who was looking ahead with unreadable expression. Changmin, what happened to Jimin? Jimin asked him, but the elder just shut his mouth tightly. He glanced over at Jimin, but then he looked ahead again with his empty eyes. When Changmin tried to kill Kia, Jimin was almost there. Jim said, maybe because there's something that triggered him when Changmin yelled for Kia's name. And that caused him to turn weak and didn't even try to fight for Kia anymore. He's coward, and you are saying that he's stronger than us? Jim yelled in anger. Who's Kia? Jimin asked him confused. Jim shook his head in disbelief. We all know who's Kia, but if you can't remember about her, that means you already decide by yourself to forget everything about her from the start. Jim yelled in anger. Then Jay smirked. Kia, I shouldn't have trusted that girl, he said, and Jimin looked at him shocked. It looked like only him still didn't have any memories about this Kia girl. You better hide her from me. I don't know what I might do if I meet Kia. Jay said, gave a warn to Jem along with a smoke. Then he disappeared. I will kill Kia. You just wait and watch. Changmin suddenly yelled, and before anyone could say something, he already disappeared into the thin air. Jim, what's going on? Tell me who's Kia. Why Jay and Changmin hate her? Jimin said, desperate. Jim looked at him with a fierce glare, then said, how dare you to forget her? Just be straightforward. Jimin suddenly yelled. Jim and Jimmy were a little bit shocked because that was their first time to see Jimin couldn't control himself. It was their first time to see him yelled out in frustration. What I have done to Kia? Who's Kia? He looked mad and looked like he ran out of patience already. Jimmy. Jim ignored Jimin, but instead he talked to Jimin. You shouldn't say anything stupid to Kia, he said, and Jimmy looked at him confused. Then he knew what Jim means. It must be that time when he tried to persuade you to forget your feelings if you really fall for Jim or Jimin. Changmin is right. We all are just a coward, Jimmy said to him, and then he disappeared. I will find Jimin and woke him up. It's his life. You shouldn't act like you own his life, Jimin said, and what he said made Jim to look at him in anger. He clenched his knuckle and then he leaned a punch towards the mirror. The altar disappeared and his knuckles stayed there at the broken glass and the blood already oozing out. I fucking saved his life.